That's got to be a phone. That's got to be a phone thing, not a headphone thing.
No, it's a headphone thing. It's just the compatibility. So like, the AirPods read them, and I'm sure the new $600 over-the-ear ones read them, but I don't have that much money. So I've went through about 4 pairs of headphones in the last week, trying out different ones, all the, the Bose, the Sony. Nothing will stay connected or not have issues while I'm working. And I just don't have patience for that when you're spending $400 on a pair of headphones. So now I'm trying I miss my Beats, how they worked with my phone, but they weren't noise canceling. But then I found out they have noise canceling ones. So now I'm going to try those. They get here today.
Because I've got the latest Sony ones, and I've been really enjoying them.
Well, I got the latest Sony ones, the 700s, and I'm sending them back today. I hated them. Every time I would turn on the steamer or the vacuum, it would go in my ear. And I was like, that's totally defeating the purpose of noise cancellation. Every time I would do the steamer, it would crackle in my ear.
Huh.
And I tried everything. And then they're all too big for my head. I don't know if I have a really narrow head, but they would all fall off.
Kyle doesn't have that problem.
Nope.
What product am I looking for again?
All-purpose cleaner.
Okay.
It's green.
I feel like there's a lot of APC options.
Yeah. People ask about the green one all the time, and Kyle used it for something last week. So
I've just been playing with it for.
I have it. I need to play with it more. Good morning, Frank from Pittsburgh. I love when people tell us where they're from. Keith DePlessis, we know where he's from. We're not sure where he ever. Yeah, he's from everywhere. We're not really ever sure where he is. We're not sure.
I think we should get him some blue pants and a red and white striped shirt.
Actually, I know where Keith DePlessis is this morning. He's in the training center in Hayward, California.
Yeah, that's right. He's still there.
Hey, Chris, we could always send him the link and have him do a little walk around the training center if we had time. Good morning, everybody.
Good call.
Well, if the internet works back there, that's the only problem.
Oh, yeah, the internet. Yeah. We'll wait for Keith to see if he wants to do that. Good morning, Adam.
He can text us, Keith.
Yeah. Yep. Angela, wow, you guys are all East or West Coast. Look at them all up early.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wisconsin.
Well, yeah. So Kyle and I are twinning today. That wasn't planned.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a little chilly out, so I'm like, I'm putting
on that was what my deal was. I'm like, I'm wearing the thickest sweatshirt that I have.
Yeah. I'm one of those today. I'm wearing a sweatshirt and shorts. It's like,
oh my gosh, that's funny.
Because it'll be warmer later. But
yeah.
This morning it's a little breezy and chilly out. So a little chilly for California. It's like probably like 40 something.
Yep. It's cold here. We've got wind. It's so cold. So tired of the cold. That's about what it is. Well, it's cooler than 40, but you're in the same, within 20, which is not normal.
Yeah, but it'll be close to 70 in a little while, so it'll be nice t-shirt weather. Yeah. Love it.
Mine will stay the same.
Wow, we got people popping up from all over. Thank you all for joining us. Good morning.
Yes, we've got Crystal Clean from Wisconsin, Michigan. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Thanks, everybody, for joining. It is early this morning, but you know what? If you guys notice behind me, the sun is up, and it's not normally up at this time. So that means summer is coming.
Well, until we do
when it starts getting lighter earlier. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's normally dark when we start Bead Maker and Coffee. So
we have a Canadian
Mike's
with
driving
us.
through Pittsburgh.
Ottawa,
Cool.
Ontario, Canada.
All right. Well, so why don't we start off with, how about we start off with what's going on at PNS and then we'll go into our details. So
Let's do that.
PNS this week, you guys will probably see some social media. We have a training class going on Monday, Tuesday this week. Keith will be there. And so we'll be getting some video pictures out of the training class this month, which will be awesome. And then last weekend, if you guys saw, we had Stephen Chin with PNS Products East Bay had his grand reopening. He reopened his store right next door to PNS HQ. And so the grand opening was this weekend, and Rennie flew out there for it. Keith was there. Bob was there. Looked like a great time. I heard, just a couple small reports. It looked amazing. If you guys saw the stories and pictures and stuff, it just was a really, really nice time. So that was awesome. We were happy to have that take place, and Steven's just been doing awesome over there.
Pretty cool. Steven went from like this shack.
Yep.
I mean, it really cool old shack that his family's owned forever. And the opportunity came up for PNS East Bay to move right next door to the factory. So it's kind of our factory store now, really close, which is really cool because a lot of people end up showing up to PNS and want to buy stuff, and we don't sell stuff there.
Right.
We send it to our distributors. So now for those people who show up there, they can go, the whole 30-second walk, or maybe it's even 20 seconds to the next door, and buy all their favorite products from Steven. And I don't think he's going to have a problem getting his product on time, shipments and all that. It's really close.
Yeah.
So, really, really cool. And Steven and his family are just great people. So if you're up there, stop by.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So that's kind of what's going on at PNS. And then at the end of March, so in 3 weeks now, we will everybody else, I will be here. Everybody else will be heading to Boise to the rag company for TRCMA. I'm sure you guys have heard them talking about it. We're super excited about it. If you don't know what TRCMA is, it is a week-long online vendor event where all of the vendors for the rag company all have a spot and get to, just play with products, announce new products, different things like that. And so it's going to be a really good time. We have quite a few members from Team PNS coming to Boise, and that will be March 31st is our day in the afternoon. So make sure you mark your calendars for that. It's going to be super fun. We're really looking forward to that. So that's what we as a team have been working on getting ready for TRCMA.
Yeah, you guys got to stay tuned to TRCMA if you want the exclusive on some really cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
Because that's where it's going to be announced.
We are pretty excited. Good morning, Jamie. All right. So anything that I missed? Chris, did I miss anything? Oh, gosh. Of course, the dog got up.
I know Chris is headed up to Big Bear on Thursday, right? You're going to be going up to Rennie's training. He has a 1 week going on, a 5-day.
Is it training week up in?
Yeah, it's training week, so I'll be up there later this week. We have 2 of them this month, actually.
Oh, so, wow. Excuse me 1 second. My dog has to go potty.
We get a break. We get a break next week, and then we got another one right after that. So,
that's a lot of training. That's great.
Well, we've had a lot of demand. We're my July class is almost completely full, so I'll be booking into August for that pretty soon, and that's even with adding a second class for March and a second class for May.
Oh wow!
Very cool.
So we
sounds
a lot of
like
people want to come do it.
Wants education. Everyone wants to learn products and learn how to run their businesses. The industry is definitely hot right now. Last week I went and did an event at H2O Detailing Supply in Covina. And I wanted to say West Covina, but it's Covina. And man, there was just a lot of new detailers there. A lot of guys who've only been doing it for a year or 2, maybe 3. Some people actually are coming back into the industry. So that was really cool.
Very cool. Yeah, lots of new guys.
Excited to have us. We're excited to be there.
Yeah. That's awesome. The rag company's here. Thanks, guys. All right. So should we go into our details from the
Yeah.
last couple weeks? And we have been scrambling to find new product tips and tricks for you guys. So Kyle, why don't you go first?
So, we have so many great products, and one of my favorites is EnviroClean, and I talk about it all the time. And so I was like, all right, what other products do we have in the arsenal that I can begin to share some knowledge on? So I've been playing with our all-purpose cleaner, our green all-purpose cleaner for different surfaces. I've used it on some WeatherTech floor mats, which it worked great. And the other day we were doing a 48-foot tractor trailer, big white semi-truck trailer, not quite the 53 footers, but almost there. And my pads were just gummed up. They had tons of product, tons of oxidation buildup. And before we came home, I decided I'm going to pre-treat all of my buffing pads with EnviroClean, but it was empty. My bottle was empty. I was kind of tired. I was a little lazy. And I decided, okay, let's bust out the all-purpose cleaner. So I took our all-purpose cleaner, I spritzed all the buffing pads with it, and about the 15th pad, because I had about 25 pads on this trailer, I started noticing all the wax and oxidation was literally just, I wouldn't say melting, but it was just dissolving out of the pads. That I have never seen that happen like this before. So I've been testing it, and it works great for a pre-treat for pads. I came home, I threw my buffing pads in the wash machine, and they were good to go. Now I did use rags to riches in the washing machine, but our all-purpose cleaner was great for cleaning the pads. And I literally probably could have cleaned them, massaged the pad, rinsed them, and spun them right there and kept going. But I really don't take the time to clean my pads during the day. I just go to a fresh pad and I do it all later.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to try that. I have some dirty pads. I have wool pads, so I'm gonna put that to the test.
Yeah.
So you said you used it on WeatherTechs and things like
Yeah.
that. Do you feel like what's kind of the prime dilution ratio for just
So I had it
general
really
purpose?
light.
Okay.
I kind of feel like I had it more at like a 8-to-1 kind of ratio. It
Mhm.
wasn't very strong, and it worked really nice.
Mhm.
It looked, I don't know, like kind of spearmint color. It wasn't very
Okay.
green.
Okay.
So, and I was happy with it. So we're going to play with it more today. I have some vinyl seats to clean on a boat. So we'll use
Mhm.
our Ninja scrub pad and
Cool.
probably the Detail Factory brush, and I'll clean, the
Mhm.
boat vinyl and
Nice.
see how it goes. Um,
Nice.
yeah, that's a pretty nice new look for our all-purpose cleaner that we came out with recently.
Cool.
Same great product, just a new look.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. So my obviously I do a lot of coatings. I could talk about coatings for days, but I'm going to switch it up. And we have a saying from Keith that ultra coat polish is always the answer, right? So I do feel like it, and this cracks me up because we always kind of joke about it and stuff, but um it truly is. Like when you're in a jam and you think, what am I going to do with this? It is funny how most of the time ultra coat polish is the answer. So last week, I had a pre-sale detail of a Land Rover Discovery. So one of the little tiny ones. And Land Rovers are notorious for not having the best materials on them, right? They tend to age and wear and all kinds of stuff fairly quickly. So this car was like a 2018. It wasn't that old. Um, and they go through a car wash several times a week. The car wash has, beat the ever living daylights out of this car, but all of the black piano black along the back trunk area, those what do you call those? Which pillars are those? The D pillars.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and so they were all super oxidized, super stained. The B pillars were really bad. any of the black piano black was just in really, really rough shape. I mean, it was literally gray, spots everywhere. It looked horrible. So here was the thing. The customer was not paying for any of that stuff to be fixed. There was no paint correction. And you know me, I always have this rule that I'm not touching a polisher if we're not doing paint correction, right? So I was kind of, I finished the vehicle and I was like, this just, it just did not look great. And so in my mind, I thought, I could clean the black piano black up pretty fast with very minimal effort on my part, and it would make such a difference. So I grabbed my Flex PXE 80, which is the little cordless one, 3-inch, um, threw a pad on, I think I used a blueberry pad from Buff and Shine, and then Ultra Coat polish. So in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to use a quick all-in-one polish. I'm not going to use a regular polish that could cause me to have to do more cleanup or anything like that. I just wanted something that I could buzz those panels real quick and just make them look better. And I mean, the whole car probably took me 5 minutes, those back pieces being the most. Chris, do you have that video by chance? So
Yeah.
I did a TikTok about it. So if you don't see it, go check on TikTok. It was crazy. So they were in such bad shape. And
So check this out. Have this Land
so you
Rover
can see it's
Discovery
literally
actually.
gray. So it took me, 5 minutes for the whole car, because obviously the sides were super fast. These back pieces were the worst. I probably did 3 passes on them.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, they by no means looked perfect, but they looked 80% better, and they looked black
Nice.
again. So it made such a huge difference. So what I thought was cool about this was, it took me 4 minutes to fix it, but made such an impression on the customer. And of course, I didn't charge anything extra for that. So this is just a way that, you can kind of give your customer something extra with minimal effort on your part or time investment. And I mean, but just makes all the difference in the world. And not only the way the vehicle looks, but also, the customer literally thinks you're magic. So I thought this was really cool. Ultra Coat Polish did an awesome job on these, left them, protected long enough for the rest of the time that the customer owns that vehicle. And I mean, just wow, it was crazy the difference it made. So it was just one of those moments where I always have to laugh about, how we say Ultra Coat's the answer. For little things like that, what a crazy great tool. And for me, and I said that in the video, is if it's not corded, if you don't have to like figure out where your extension cord is and plugging it in, it's not really work on your part, right? Because you could just pick up your PXE 80 and go to town. So that was super cool. So that was probably the favorite thing that I did last week.
I
It
love
was
those battery powered
fun.
tools.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to polish
Yeah.
an entire vehicle, even with the full
Right.
size
No.
Flex battery.
Yeah.
I just think I can get so much done with the corded version, but
Yeah.
I can do spot corrections. I can
Mhm.
do spot repairs.
Yeah.
Last week I had to do some wet sanding on a brand new fire truck because it had orange peel on the
Mhm.
top. And
Yeah.
I used my the battery powered XCE
Mhm.
to compound and get the sanding marks out because I didn't want to, hook up to the extension cord and drag it
Right.
all out. It was perfect.
Yeah.
But those are those value added things that you do that,
Mhm.
make the difference
Yep.
and that are really easy. I did a Tacoma last week with Inspiration, and the grill, the little section between the hood and the grill, it's probably like a 4-inch trim piece. They had some like sap that stained the clear coat,
Mhm.
and the
Mhm.
owner thought it was ruined. He's like, "Oh, that'll never come out. Don't bother wet sanding it." I'm like, "No, I can get this out." I felt it. It was completely smooth and level. So I took a little 3-inch lamb's wool and some compound, and I buzzed that area, worked it. It took a few minutes.
Mhm.
You never would have known it was even there.
That's
And he
cool.
was blown away. That little fix,
Yeah.
even though he spent a ton of money on the rest of the truck, that is what stood out to the owner,
Mhm.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Super cool. I love that. I love that little guy. Got me out of a couple jams last week. I also did water spots on a window that I'll be putting that video up soon, so watch for that. But another one just where it was like at the end and it was like, I want to just get rid of these real quick. So anyway, love that machine, but just, an Ultra Coat, such a great quick fix. And you'll be hearing more about Ultra Coat polish because it's also a great ceramic reset, but we'll wait to talk about that until we get some videos made and stuff. But it's just such a great product. Love it. Love it.
We'll probably talk about it more by the end of the month.
Yeah. Yep. Cool. All right. Well, let's jump into questions. So you guys go ahead and get your questions in and we'll start answering them. But this first one is a great one. So this one's going to be for Kyle. This is from Missy. My husband has been using PNS products for over 11 years through his current employer and has been a detailer for almost 20 years. We are wanting to become a distributor if we are able to. How do we go about getting more details on how to become a distributor?
Great question. Thank you for sending it in. Right now, if you go on to our website, you can go to our Distributor Locator tab, and there's a new tab called Become a Partner. This just launched in the last month, and this is where you would send that info in. Basically, it allows you to vet yourself, and we will contact you wherever you are. If it's Southern California, I'll get with you. If it's other places in the country, Keith will get with you when he is not taking care of the other inquiries that come in like crazy every day. So there are a lot of people wanting to become distributors. But what I like to say is when I talk to people who want to sell products, which is great, our industry is booming, blown up. If you're actually a store that wants to sell detailing products, if you already have a store, do you have a resale license? Are you ready to start that process? If not, we're happy to give some advice on how to do it. We do have some territories, a lot of territories that are already taken or spoken for. But we also have areas where our current distributors service or wholesale to their storefronts. So that's how we would begin. Let us get all your info, and basically it's an application is what I look at that as, and we go through the process and see what we can do. That is actually, I work with Sydney all the time. I help with social media, but my title is actually Territory Manager for Southern California. This is what I do most of the time with PNS is bring on new distributors and assist our existing partners.
Yep.
So thank you very much, Missy, for the question.
Yeah, we are excited to have that new
great
tab
question.
on the website. Yeah,
And,
very good question.
Our website team, our Ian, has done a great job on that. Setting that up on the website. And we have a lot of inquiries that have been coming in, and not everyone's going to be a fit, but we still like to see what we can do.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Next up, we've got G-Man with, could you recommend that for interior dash trims? Our Mercedes has black trim. So I'm assuming you're talking about the Ultra Coat polish and the Pixie. So here's the deal with interior trims is they are all over the place as far as what they're made out of, what condition they're in. So let me go back to this specific Land Rover. It had some of that trim inside, but all of the trim along the side of it was all peeling away and eaten by who knows what. So on that interior specifically, I would have just walked away. Right. I mean, I'm not even going to touch that. If the trim is deteriorating, there's probably whatever you do to it is going to make it worse. So, but I think I know what you mean by the Mercedes. So Mercedes, and like one that comes to mind is the Tesla, how it's all that piano black all the way down the middle on the Model 3. So I have done that process before, but here's the deal is you want to do a test spot, hopefully in some place inconspicuous. And my motto here would be like the easiest pad, the lowest speed. I mean, you just have to be really careful because if you create more swirls or something, I mean, you just kind of have to know the risks involved. I have done it with success, but it's just something that it's not a blanket answer. So I've done it on a Tesla and it turned out great, but I also knew going in that if it didn't turn out great, the customer knew that it may not work and would have wrapped it if it didn't work out. So before you mess with stuff like that, I would just have that conversation with the customer um, on if they want you to try to fix it. And same goes for the plastic in front of the speedometer. A lot of those get ruined, especially by detailers that spray chemicals that aren't supposed to be up there. So again, just have that conversation with the customer that, it is kind of a variable process. But when I'm doing the inside, I use a white pad. I use the most gentle pad, and the ultra coat's going to be fine. Just I've seen people take a blue pad or a wool pad and compound and polish, and it doesn't ever turn out well.
Yeah.
It's so thin. It's so thin. You have such a short margin of, workability.
Start with the minimal approach, ultra coat and a finishing pad, very slow speed, inspect your work and get it to the point where you're happy. I've polished on some of this piano finish on Teslas before. The other thing you got to be careful with is make sure that you spread the product on the pad well first, because usually that piano trim is bordered by another trim piece.
Right.
And if you get compound or polish in that, you're going to probably be steaming it out because you're not going to get it out very easy.
Right.
So minimal approach. You could try it by hand as well, a little hand polish with a nice microfiber. But you could also scratch it. And that stuff is softer than paint. It is. That's one thing that I have a lot of requests from with people with like Ford trucks. They like their pillars to be polished. The B pillars. And then usually I have my Clear Bra installer do paint protection film there to protect them. Makes it easier to clean the PPF up later. Like my truck, my PPF on my pillars is spotted. I'm going to try and fix it. If I can't, then I'll peel the Clear Bra off and reapply. So that's what I would do. It's a great question.
Yep. So yeah, just be careful. There is also a new attachment, which I haven't gotten yet, but there's a new attachment that I saw at MTE, that if you joined us for Bead Maker and Coffee when we were at MTE, there's a new little attachment for the Pixie that is kind of a flexible, what do you call that? Like a flexible piece. And on the end is a very small, is it a 1-inch attachment? No, it's even smaller, isn't it?
It's even smaller. It's about a half to a 1, but it's rotary.
So it's a little attachment that has little pads that you can get like underneath the door handles, or that one would be great for interior pieces because you can be so focused on one area. That's the only thing about even a 2-inch or a 3-inch on the Pixie on the interiors is you have such a small space that you're working for that, you would hate to cross over, like Kyle said, into anything, even like the shifter, or, I mean, it's just, flirting with something going wrong.
I really have that attachment. I'll have to give it a try on some interior panels now. I want to see, and I want to try it not with a rotary is spinning on the surface in a circle. I want to try it on its side where it's spinning along the surface. And see if that makes a difference in the marring, if it does. So.
Yeah, cool. Great question. All right. Next one, we've got Jose with, do you guys have any distributors in the Fresno, California area? I am not sure. Let's see. We've got Central Valley PNS. Check out the distributor locator on the website. So this is great, Chris. Thanks for putting that up there. So on our website, psdetailproducts.com, we have a tab that is called Distributor Locator. So on that, you'll be able to find all of our distributors and storefronts. And what's nice is you put in your zip code and it literally gives you a list all the way up to like 250 miles away. So it doesn't just give you one, it gives you a whole list, which is really nice. And if you're visiting another area, you could put in that zip code. And so that distributor locator is great. So
I think I'm a brat sometimes because we get questions all the time on our Instagram.
Yeah.
Hey, where can I buy P&S products?
Right.
And I am like, I will literally type in their address and send them the area. Sometimes I just say, hey, we have a distributor locator on our website. So what I'm saying is, if you want to know where to buy P&S detailing products near you, use the map. But we also have online partners like the Rag Company, Auto Geek, Detailing.com, Detailed Image, and so many more. And we have our own website. So there's always somewhere where you can buy. A lot of our distributors have websites. But if you're, looking there, that's where I would start your search. Don't just I've actually deleted some of those questions now because I'm like tired of trying to show them. Go to our website.
Right.
It's on our website. That's
right. Because we have to do exactly what we need them to do, right? We have to go to the distributor locator and look it up. So
if
that's
you're
a
the
great
first
tool.
one to ask that day, I'm usually pretty cool. If you're like the fifth person asking that day, you may not get a response. So please just go to the website.
That's good. That's good stuff. All right. Next up, we have got Tommy with how is the paint on the 2021 Broncos? Hard clear, soft clear? Kyle, do you know? I've seen one, but I have not worked on one yet.
I haven't touched a new Bronco yet.
Yeah, I haven't touched one yet, but yikes, look at that. That's right. Billy did one. And so look at that paint gauge, you guys. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what does. So whether it's hard or soft, minimal, right? Minimal approach. And that's going to be one that, we're going to have to, which I do with all new cars anyway. I really encourage people to get them coated because, I mean, you got one shot at that.
Yeah, this is an excellent opportunity to upsell customers too. I mean, you bust out your paint gauge, you show them how thin the paint is on that vehicle. Then I'll take them over to like my van and show them the difference in the paint on my van, which is 5-6 years old now, and like my van is like 5 to 6 mils. This is 2.5. So, and you're like, hey, look, you need to really put a few layers of our top ceramic coating on, or you probably should do paint protection film. You never want to scratch this paint because if you do, I can't fix it.
Right.
Usually, and I've done this a lot over the years. When I sand a scratch out, I'm removing like 0.3, 0.5 mils. There's not enough clear coat on that vehicle right there to remove 0.1 mils. You'll go through the clear. Clear is pretty thin, so that is incredibly scary. And but if you have a paint gauge, which you can get, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago on detailplus.com, one of our friends Keith's website. It's a sales tool. Not want to scare your customers, but educate your customers so they understand the best way to protect their paint for the long haul.
Yeah. And that's scary. And I know, for me, I only have one customer who's gotten a Bronco and I haven't seen it yet, but this is one of those things where if I have any other customers that I know have them on order, I usually communicate with my customers quite often, especially about cars that they're ordering and stuff. So, I mean, for sure, this would be one that I'd be like, do not take it through a car wash. Don't do anything. Like, let's try to get it in as close to when you take possession as possible, because the more damage that's done, I mean, that's a frightening number. So, and if I remember right, Billy was not able to do a ton of correction on this just because that number, was too risky. It was so, I mean, he corrected it and coded it, but you have to be careful on what you promise the customer, the level of correction you can do also. So yes, definitely, Tommy, start with the less aggressive and see what you can get.
Help with that question about Metal Bright. I'm going to send a picture that you can pull up.
Okay, cool.
From a fire engine that we just worked on last week.
Awesome. And Mike jumped in. Mike Bothello said the Bronco hood is thin. Yes. All right. This is a great question. I love this, Cynthia. So I plan to launch my detailing business soon. I live off near an affluent golf course marina community. I plan to offer golf cart, and auto detailing. Could that work? And can you recommend any P&S products? So let's deal with the can that work part first. Yes. So here's a cool thing that my brother lives in Las Vegas, and there is a the what do you? Why am I just totally blanked?
Like the country club.
Yeah, the country club that he belongs to has a service that's really cool. So they actually built a detail shop for a detailer that they had been working with for years. Um, Kind of in what I don't know what you'd call it, like a basement, but below the clubhouse. And so they built him a space to work. And then what they did was they started including car washes into their club members' dues. So when the guys would pull up and park, they would ask, "Do you want a car wash today?" And then so that detailer just washed the cars all day because they're there for 4 hours, right? Now they would also do details that was on top of what was included in their membership. But what was cool is they made a ton in tips, and then obviously the golf course paid them for those car washes, but they just included it as a service. So that's something that you could approach the golf course about, if that's something they'd be interested. And maybe you just start with like 1 day a week of offering that service or something like that. Even if they have to pay, even if it's not included in the dues, you can say, would this be something that we could offer, once a day? I can come pick up the cars, or however that works with where you're located, or if you're mobile, and just let them know. And then the customers can pay you direct. But what a cool service. I mean, I know for me, if I was going golfing and somebody was going to have my car clean when I got back, like, sign me up, right? That sounds amazing. So I think definitely, absolutely, that can work. I washed golf carts a lot and detailed them a lot too, because the community I live in, we have street golf carts. A lot of people here have golf carts. So yes, absolutely. Not huge money makers, but what's cool is they bring them to you and then you end up getting their cars. So I think it's a great thing to offer. It kind of fills the gaps. If you can handle doing one regular detail a day and then wash a golf cart, I mean, it just adds, $30 to your overline or over, every day. So I think that's really cool. So yes, that will absolutely work. Feel free to reach out to me if you want help on just kind of the more specific kind of things like that. And then P&S products that we would recommend. Kyle, I'll let you take that part.
So, and let us know where you're from,
Yeah.
Cynthia, please. There's so many surfaces on the golf carts, but um, between the vinyl and the rubber floors, Express Interior would be a great product to use on most of the areas that are on the golf cart. The front plastics and sometimes they're fiberglass. If you're going to polish them, Kyle's Boat and RV Restorer would work great. She's
Yep.
in Maryland. Cool.
Yep.
And so it's more a seasonal area then that you're going to have this, because I know it gets cold there. So you may need to figure out a way of, like Sydney said, of having a facility, because being mobile, doing golf courses, I've tried it. And the only drawback I found was we have a lot of wind here in my area of Southern California. We would have a day that was set up. We'd show up and it'd be windy and we'd be sitting there twiddling our thumbs because no one wanted their vehicles done because it was windy and dusty. Or the golfers didn't show up because it was too windy.
Right.
So, it has to be the perfect weather or fit for you. I know it works great for some people. For my area, I got tired after like the third time of having like one car to clean. When normal days we were, 15 or 20 cars, and I couldn't just pay my guys to sit around. And so I pivoted and went to another part of the industry. But some are going to do well. Now, you also said marina community, so there's also boats, jet skis. So obviously, you're going to be doing them in the water or when they're pulled out of the water. I would focus on pulling, when they're out of the water, especially in the winter. If they, if you have a place to pull them inside, you could work year round, out of the elements. And so There's lots of different products you can use. We have a product line called Babes. Babes Boat Care is also a boat line that is more for the boat owner DIY, but it's great stuff and it'll work well for a professional also. So you may want to look into Babes and all the products that we have available through that.
Yeah, yeah. So I think step number one, if I were you, I would go in to the club and I would introduce myself, let them know what you do. I would ask to speak with, whoever's in charge, the head pro of the club, and then I would also go and speak with the manager of the pro shop. Introduce yourself, let them know the services that you can provide their club members. And Rick Kolb jumped in here. He has several country clubs that he takes care of, and that this is what made me think about that. And so he says he pays a small commission for them to market the services. So introduce yourself, let them know what you're doing, let them know the services you can provide to their club members, and then maybe they'll let you put, flyers in the clubhouse, or they could however they do their marketing, maybe they would let people know that you can provide pickup or on-site detailing, however you're deciding to do that, and that they can get their car washed or detailed while they play a round of golf. I think that the most important thing is it's only going to take 2 or 3 people to use your services, and then major captive audience, right? Golfers, they're going to tell everybody. They're going to tell everybody that'll listen, like, yeah, my car's getting detailed today, and word will spread like wildfire. So I think this is a really great situation for you if you play your hand right. So I would meet with everybody at the golf course first, let them know what you're doing so that then they help you promote your business. And maybe ask them, if they minded, I hate putting stuff on cars, but just leaving business cards or flyers somewhere. That would be awesome. So I think that's
I
sounds
have
like
an
a really
idea.
good. Mhm.
Okay, so I follow this golf cart chick on TikTok. She's hilarious, and she's from Vegas.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you should detail the golf cart. The girl who goes around and sells all the drinks.
Oh
Clean her
yeah.
car and
Yeah.
have her pass your cards out.
There you go.
Make
Yeah.
her your friend, because I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
this girl gets guys to buy drinks, and yeah,
Yes.
she's pretty, but she's
Yep.
hilarious on
Yeah.
TikTok.
That's a
So I was
great
like,
idea.
utilize the staff and
Yep.
make them your fans, and
Yep.
they'll spread the word for you. Yeah, you got to do everything else first, like Sydney said.
Yeah.
Get in there, but that is another asset for you to pass your cards around really easy.
Yeah.
Because every
Yeah.
drink she sells, she could be like, "Hey, I had my car cleaned the other day by our guy," and or whoever it is, by Cynthia, and
Yeah.
man, she did a great job. And here's her card if you guys need it done. Let her know you sent me.
Yeah.
Or I sent you.
Yeah. And they have advertising spots on their scorecards. I've never looked into anything like that, but just another thing to write down. They have advertising spots. I have no idea how much those are or if they're even worth it. But how cool would that be too if your name, if they saw your name every single day? That's that whole brand awareness thing. So yeah, just go meet with the head pro at the golf course and let them know what you're trying to do. And I think they're going to think it's great and a service to their club members. And so, yeah, check that out. I think that'll be awesome. Also, Rick Kolb, if you don't know him, super awesome guy. We love Rick. And he said, please feel free to reach out to him if you have any questions, because it sounds like he has dealt with this a lot. So definitely reach out to Rick. He's so great. So cool.
Thanks, Sydney, Cynthia. That was a great question. Don't forget to
All
follow us on
right.
Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those fun things.
Yes.
Oh, man.
All right. So this is a very common question and a tough one. So Dave says, I just bought a Jeep. The windshield has some super fine wiper scratches. What product do you recommend and pad to make this look better?
I can tell you this. If they're super fine, to make them look better, you can attempt Clarity Cream with a really stiff pad. But Clarity Cream does not have cerium oxide in it that's going to cut. And that's kind of one of those tools they use to polish glass. And polishing glass is really difficult, mainly because you can hurt it. There's tools out there that you can order. There's kits. I'll say I know Glass Weld has a kit. It's really expensive, but you can get out scratches that way. But typically the pad and the abrasive are super important. Usually they use a rotary with a felt pad, which is really, it's like more like a round block or fleece. I believe it's felt or fleece. And basically like a rouge type powder you can mix with water, and you're buffing super high speed, a lot of heat. Yeah. So try Clarity Cream first. Maybe utilize a really like a maroon pad, something really stiff, and work it for a while. You're not going to hurt the glass with Clarity Cream as long as the product's, wet, and see if it cleans it up. But if they're really deep scratches, you may have to, learn how to do glass polishing with one of the more advanced technologies that's out there.
Yep.
Or buy a new windshield.
Yep. Yeah, scratches are hard. I have those in my Mini Cooper too. And I mean, sometimes it's just easier to get a new windshield than
for the time and effort, and you would hire someone to do that, or order the kit. I mean, a new windshield's on certain vehicles is pretty affordable, a couple $100.
Yep.
I don't know about a Jeep, probably $300 or $400.
Yeah. And it depends on your insurance too. I had a Jeep, and obviously the windshield got broken right away because they're straight up and down. And so mine had to be replaced. I had $100 deductible, but I had another Mini Cooper that had pitting that drove me crazy. And I mean, I didn't have to justify it to my insurance agent. I mean, they just, you get a new windshield replacement. It's not like they prove that it's broken or anything. And, I couldn't correct the pitting on my Mini Cooper, so I just had the windshield replaced. This was on my first one.
Sydney went outside with a ball peen hammer and just whacked it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. So Keith just popped in. He said, and I think this is important too. So Keith says, we don't recommend glass polishing to remove scratches. It can cause distortion and safety issues. And this is kind of what popped in my head too when you said it was a Jeep. Is the Jeep windshields are so
narrow
they just
flat.
break so easy because they're flat up and they're straight up and down, so they break so easy. So it does cause distortion and then just the whole safety issue. So I think that's a good call. I mean, there is items out there, but that just it's another one of those gray areas where you can try it, but I would be prepared to replace it. Just always be prepared to replace it.
Ability level, but that's why I was trying to direct you towards try Clarity Cream, clean it up, make it hide a little. But if they're actually deep scratches, replace it or hire a professional to do it because they're best at it.
Yep.
Gorilla Glass for Jeeps.
All right. Weaver Details says, I really liked your newest video with the floor mats using natural shine to restore the mats. I'm very eager to try natural shine for myself. Awesome product. So I love this. So if you guys didn't see it on our YouTube, we had a new video drop last week where I used Undressed to clean the rubber floor mats and then dressed them with natural finish. So this is my favorite thing to do. And Kyle knows I am just waiting for the sun to come out because my favorite method. So in the video, I sprayed it on, let it soak in on its own, all of that good stuff, and then wiped it down. But my favorite thing to do with natural finish on the mats is I do them kind of early on in my detail. And then I do the same process, apply the natural finish, and then I put them out in the sun. And something happens when you do that. It is so great. It bakes into the mat and it completely levels itself. There's nothing left to wipe. They're completely dry, non-slippery. So if you have sun where you live, the sun is your friend here. I absolutely love, and so Kyle and I talk about that all the time, letting floor mats bake.
It's like the first thing.
It's the greatest thing.
Dial them in and let them soak in and absorb it.
Yeah.
Jamie the cleaner did a TikTok I saw yesterday using natural finish on a door panel.
Yeah.
And he showed the kind of the before and after. It was a really good TikTok.
Yeah.
It just kind of hydrated it, but didn't make it look super greasy. It was great.
Yeah, you can't even feel natural finish after it's settled and cured. You feel nothing, and it just looks crisp and clean and new. It's really, really an awesome product. So I love natural finish on the mats because it's not slippery, not greasy at all. And it just, like, every time my customers open their door, they go, "Did you get new floor mats?" Like, they can't even believe they're the same ones. And so it really, really great. Love that. So if you didn't see that video, go check it out. It's pretty cool. Awesome. Okay. Danny, good morning from Oregon. Are you guys using Metal Bright to polish aluminum? If so, what are you using?
So, Chris, will you pull up that picture that I texted you? So I did a brand new fire engine ready for delivery. And part of the process that this city wanted, they wanted all the aluminum polished. And that step was a hazy aluminum that I guess they started building this fire engine almost like 2 years ago. So imagine aluminum just sitting around that long, just needed to be cleaned up. So for this case, we actually used a lamb's wool pad on a Flex 3401 and just on like speed 2 and 3 and just lightly cleanse that area. Then I followed with a yellow foam pad and did the same process just to make it pop. And that's all I did there. I literally just used a dual action polisher. I used tape to protect that reflective, I guess, vinyl there so that the pad didn't rub up against it. And then I made sure that I wiped in both in an X pattern to make sure there was no metal polish or residue left over. So yeah, Metal Bright works great on aluminum. I've done it on semi-truck wheels, on high-end, chip goose wheels. It really depends on the pad or the towel or the applicator you use to get the shine you're looking for. If you're trying to cut, then you're going to have to use something more stiff, more dense, or wool. If you're looking just to finish, then soften it up, and works really, really well. So I do have a before picture, but I figured I'd just send that one. It wasn't terrible, but definitely the fire department was happy with how the aluminum looked. They wanted it all perfect as it could be because it'll never look like that ever again. They don't pay to polish those things, and they'll try and clean it up as they go, but it's not going to look like that.
Cool. He said his customer wants his seats and the wheels done on a Freightliner hauler truck that pulls a fifth wheel. Cool.
Yeah, wheels are fine. I've used my my Flex corded 3-inch, not the Pixie, but the other one. It's the dual action. I've also used the Flex. I think it's called a PE8, which is the rotary. And I've polished wheels with those in the past because they fit down in the wheels really easy. And just done a light polish. It's not gonna make it look like someone who sanded the wheels and went at it with a rouge and an airwave buff like the true metal guys do. But it's a nice product to get some spotting and cleanse the paint or cleanse the aluminum and make them shine again. Cool. Shake it really well. More than twice.
Yep. Awesome. Great question. And Chris, I have a couple questions that were emailed to me too. If we want to throw some of these in, I know we can't put them up on the screen, but I know that we've missed these over the last couple of weeks. So if we can throw one of these in and we'll wait for more questions to come in. But let's say good morning to Gabriel real quick. Good morning, Gabriel. Thanks for joining us. He's in the
Sydney,
Netherlands.
And Keith also sent us a text about.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I was gonna bring that up at the end. Yep, got it. Cool. Okay, so here's a great question. I have like 5 of them here. So let's do this one. So can inspiration fabric coating be applied in place of the finisher? So let's say they use the Terminator, the Bomber, and they do the coating. So this is a loaded question a little bit. So the biggest thing here is, for me, I would still use the finisher. And here's why. One, it helps the surface dry. And the most important thing for the fabric coating is it has to be 100% dry. Not 90, not 95. It has to be 100% dry to use the fabric coating. So if you are planning on doing fabric coating the day of your detail and you're also cleaning the carpets, this is going to be a little tricky for you. So I would still use the finisher just because it's going to aid in how fast it dries, and it's also going to brighten up that carpet, which you want. That for me, I want that extra little bump. So it's not going to act in the same way as finisher, while it would semi-neutral, block the surfactants from being able to pull things off your shoes and stuff. You still want the other benefits of the finisher. So if you are cleaning carpets and wanting to use the fabric protectant, I hope it's a situation where you're keeping the car overnight or you have dryers or something, because I cannot stress that enough. The carpets and seats have to be 100% dry before you apply the Inspiration fabric coating. So hope that helps on that one. Kyle, do you have anything to add to that? That was from Luis Rodriguez.
Yeah, you said it all. I understand why people want to skip the step, but you got to neutralize those cleaners as well. If you were going to steam or extract, however you're utilizing it, you got to make sure that everything's 100% dry. We did Inspiration fabric to a Porsche a month ago, and we did the soft top.
Yeah.
And I had to wait a couple days to make sure it was dry.
Yeah.
And the weather was nice and cold outside. It wasn't drying. We washed it, hours before. So I ended up coming back a few days later to do it just to make sure that it was 100% dry.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the key. It has to be super dry. And then Chris, did I see a question? I think I might have missed one that had to do with the Inspiration. He needs to recoat the car.
Well, if you missed it, I missed it too.
Yeah, I know. I just remembered that I saw one. It said his car has Inspiration on it and it's time to reapply it. And so he wanted to know, does he need to reapply Inspiration again, or can he use Legend?
I don't see that.
Where's that?
Here we go. I think I found it.
Okay, there we go. Yep. Stevie B says, I have Inspiration on my Lexus and it's time to reapply it. Should I buy another application or put on Legend?
Well, if you want to try Legend, this is the time. Either way, I'm going to recommend that you wash it, clay it, and polish it to prepare it to bond to Legend, because you can do it if you polish it. If you're just going to put another coating on, let's ask this. I always like to tailor my coatings to my customers' expectations of, if they're going to keep this Lexus, you're going to keep it around for the next 5 years. Yeah, do Legend. If you're only keeping it another year, then polish it and put Soul on it. Really tailor the product to what you want it to do, how long you want it to protect. You already have a good base layer of Inspiration. But you just got to make that decision. You want the max protection, go Legend. If you just want to top it and make it, that water show hydrophobic beading happen again, then go with Soul or reapply Inspiration.
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And Legend will go over Inspiration at this point just fine, but just like Kyle said, what are your expectations for the car and how long are you going to keep it and all that kind of good stuff. Because you could literally polish it and just put Soul over it. But if you want to try Legend, you absolutely can. But either way, you have to polish it. So that's kind of the trick in there. So yeah, cool. Have fun with it. And then Steve, what is a base charge for boats per foot? My customer, who's a regular for spring and fall cleanup, suggests that I set up at a local marina. Is it good to advertise your products in flyers I pass out? I use a variety of products, but want to narrow it down.
Yeah, I see people use the brands they use often to legitimize their business, to say I use a quality product. I don't see anything wrong with using, whatever brand you're using, PNS or McGuire's or, those are usually very common. But don't make it the point of your only sales tool. It's there just to say, hey, we use good stuff. Charging by the foot, man, on a boat that's in the water versus a boat that's out of the water. You can have a flat bottom boat that's the side of the boat's only 2 feet, 3 feet, or you could have the same exact size boat that the side of the boat is 8 feet. So by the linear foot does not always work for different style of boats. You have like a cabin cruiser or, different boats, they're different styles. So what I always do figuring out a price is I would look at a boat, maybe do a test spot, determine how long it's going to take me to do that boat, and use the by the foot charge as your formula for explaining to the customer. So say you look at a boat and it's going to be, you're like, oh man, this is going to take me 4 hours just to do a light polish. I want to make $100 an hour. It's $400. The boat's $20, or 20 feet long. Then you just do the math. You're like, okay, well, to do this boat, I'm going to charge you, $20 per linear foot. I want to make $400. And so by the foot is really just the formula you use to explain to the customer. In your own head, you figure out the price and work backwards. That's how I always kind of done it.
Yeah.
But if I look at it this way too. If you're going to do a boat and it's going to take you half a day, how much money can you make in a whole day doing other vehicles? You got to make sure that I can see Bristol in the back.
She loves to be on camera.
That that you're making a profit, that you're happy with it, that you are going to have money set aside within the price for incidentals. What if you drop your polisher in the water? Guess what? You just lost all your money.
Yeah.
You have to, there's added risks to doing a boat that's in the water. There's time for setting up. There's time for either turning the boat around in the dock or bringing your own floating dock to go around the other side. So you're gonna have to feel it out and do some test spots. And I would also, like you said, it is a good idea to make the marina your friend, because those are the people that are going to send you the work. Those are the people. I have a dealership that I take care of, and I hate cleaning the service manager's RV. I hate it. The guy knows that he tells me to do it, and I do it. Why? Because I make thousands of dollars a week off this one account, and for me to spend an hour washing his RV is totally worth it. But I hate it, especially because I have to drive like 30 minutes away to go do it now because he's moved.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to eat it a little bit to make it on the other end.
Yep. Awesome. Good morning, Gabriel. Good morning, Queenie and the Friendly Giant. I love that we have names.
What's up, dude?
That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's crazy hours over there. So Christopher here with, as a new business owner, what is the best recommendation for getting health insurance in California? I was told that Medi-Cal is good for the time being and then upgrade when possible. Do you know anything? I don't know anything about medical insurance.
I don't either, because
California?
I would marry someone who has a good job and has
That's what I was going to say too. I'm married to a state employee.
I'm married a school teacher, so
Chris is going to have the same answer. So
there is an additional fee, to pay for me and my daughters, adding to it, but it's totally worth it. But there are resources for that online.
I think Chris,
I
I
thought we were all forced to get healthcare or
I
something.
was just going to say, Chris, when you fall off a ladder, just go to county hospital. You'll be good.
Right.
Yeah. County hospital. You'll wait. Days, but
honestly, what I would do, Christopher, is for me, he's what part of California is he in? Chris, do you know?
Our
But
part, I don't know.
honestly, what I would do is, for my business, I work with a broker. So he deals with all of my insurance except for health, just because, like I said, I'm married to a state employee, but he would be able to help me if I needed health insurance. So if you go to an insurance broker, they can advise you on what your specific plan is. Like, do you only need it for a year? So I would find yourself a really good insurance broker that kind of deals with everything: life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, business insurance, that can make sure that you are covered on all those bases because they're all equally as important. So find an advocate for yourself, a good insurance agent that works for a broker that can help you with everything being covered.
That's
Because
a
even
good.
life insurance for us is very important. So find somebody that can look at your entire situation and what's best for you and can make a plan. Like I know when I started, the uh, garage keepers insurance, it's kind of hard to get when you're new, and so he sat down with me and said, here's what we're going to do to start out with, and then we're going to move into this, and so he had a plan for me. And same with the life insurance and stuff. So just find a good broker that's going to be able to advise you on your specific situation, because
That's
it,
great advice.
it could be
I
very
didn't even
different.
think
So,
about my broker for life. If they
yeah,
can't, those
yeah,
people know where to send you though.
yes, yes,
That's the
for
other thing.
sure,
I
for
am in the
sure.
process of getting accident
Hmm.
insurance for
Hmm.
myself.
Hmm. Oh, that's
I'm
good.
gonna
Yeah.
get Aflac.
Hmm.
And so I got that through my broker. He sent me
Hmm.
to a friend of his that does that because, you
Yeah.
know, 36 isn't old, but I'm feeling it.
Right.
And if I
Yeah.
fall off a ladder or something,
Right.
it's worth the monthly
Yeah.
fee to be able to, pay my bills and all that when
Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah.
And I found out that I can change my life insurance through that as well. So
Yeah.
they're a great resource. I have a guy out in Burbank, California that I
Hmm.
use. He lives out by me, but he works in Burbank.
Hmm.
And so don't know where you're at. He's in Sacramento. But
Hmm.
yeah, there's brokers all over that can help you.
Yeah.
Just gotta look it up.
Yep. Yep. Find somebody that'll be able to advise you
Good
on
question.
everything.
We don't
Yeah,
get
it
this
is
kind
a
of
good
question very
question.
often.
Yep.
Great.
Yep. It's a great question. Very good. Awesome.
All right.
Um, so
Let's
we are at the end of the list and end of time. Let's see. We can answer this one real quick because I do
yeah.
love this product. So Mike says, I just got Tempest and haven't used it yet. Any do's or don'ts with it? So Mike, it is a degreaser. So it is going to be a little bit harsher than say EnviroClean, but Tempest is awesome. In my experience, I've never damaged anything. That's the good news. I want to say I dilute it 1 to 10. Does that sound right? I always
Yeah.
default to it's whatever my control set at that Keith set it at, but I believe it's 1 to 10. Tempest is awesome though. Absolutely an awesome product. And that is, I think my comment about it is that I have never left a spot or damaged anything. I also love Tempest on rubber floor mats as well. That's one of my other favorite uses for it. But Tempest is great. I use it on engines. I've never had a problem, but you just want to
Just
make
make
sure that you
sure
have
the
it
surface
diluted
is
correctly.
cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't put it on a hot engine.
Right. Yep.
Part of that is it'll hurt the engine, but part of that is you do not want to breathe that stuff in when it's on
No.
something hot. It
Yep.
will
Yeah.
steam back in your face. Not good.
Yep. Yep. And so
Boy.
have fun with it though, Mike. Honestly, that is one of, if I had to like sit and think about what bottles do I refill the most, Tempest is one of them. So I use a lot of it and I think I don't even realize it, but that is one that I'm easily refilling once or twice a week is my Tempest. So I love Tempest. So good job on that. So anyway, we are at the end of our time slot. And one thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot in the beginning is that if you are in the Pacific Northwest area, we have an event in Redmond, Oregon, on March 18th and 19th. That's a Friday and a Saturday. It will be at, oh, I just lost the name of his
Northwest
shop. No,
Northwest
it's at
Auto
Shane's
Festival.
shop. No,
Oh,
it's at
Shane.
Shane's shop. Yeah. Anyway, so it's in Redmond, Oregon. We're going to get some flyers out, but we have an IDA certification event. We have a ceramic coating certification event, and then I believe just a general open house. It is at Perfection Plus Auto Salon in Redmond, Oregon. And we are super excited about that. So I know Keith and I will be there. I believe Prentice St. Clair will be there. And a couple other people, Angela, who is in the comments, will be there, I know. So lots of guys coming over for it and girls. So if you are in the Pacific Northwest area, feel free to join us. It will be a fun-packed couple days, and we are looking forward to that. So wanted to mention that real quick. We have that in 2 weeks. Yeah. And then we'll be back that next Monday for another episode of Bead Maker and Coffee.
Cool.
Awesome.
Oh, and if you're not subscribed to our newsletter,
yes,
you may want to check it out because there's a lot of good info we have on our newsletter called the Bead Maker Lounge.
Yep.
Some of you may have heard about Bead Maker and Coffee because of it, but we've shared the link multiple times. I believe it may be in our bio. Is that true right now? Is it in our bio?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's on the bio, and then the link to sign up is obviously on our website. And then obviously if you go to the link in our bio on any of our social media, it's going to have the link tree, which will have, it will take you to our website to sign up to receive the newsletter. And then there's also a link to view the most current newsletter, because if you signed up today for the newsletter, you wouldn't get the past issues. So
cool.
That link for the most recent issue is always there. And then just as a side note on there, so we have a focus every week. So this comes out every 2 weeks. And so one thing that you guys are going to want to go check out, because it comes up a lot, is that dynamic is missing, right? Dynamic dressing. So Bob gives an update, which is the PNS Situation Room. He gives an update on the situation with silicone in the industry right now. So definitely go check that out. There is that video that we were talking about earlier, the undressed and natural finish on a rubber floor mat. And then Kyle gives tips and tricks on his Kyle's Boat and RV Restorer, which is an awesome product. So definitely subscribe to the newsletter. Great information in there. And it's easy. It comes to your email box every other week on Thursday. So get signed up for that if you are not already. It's also a great reminder for all of the trainings coming up at PNS University. So there you go.
Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Well,
have
everybody, you guys,
everyone.
Yeah, have a great week, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And make sure that you watch for that Redmond event if you are in the Pacific Northwest.